Good morning. Today I'm going to show the garden. My video cut off. Here we are outside. I have to water it. David just took down 3 wasp nests from up here. There was some big ones. Anyways, we have this lovely screen that we can pull down. Okay, so I'm gonna go water the garden because it's already like, I don't know, 88 degrees and it's morning time. Here it is. Things are already probably gonna be looking wilted. But where's my hose? There it is. I'm gonna water it first, then show you. I was just outside watering, and I'm gonna bring this phone out so I can get a video recording of what the garden looks like this year, and so maybe see the difference for next year, and for anybody else who wants to see. So this is my garden. I was this year gave birth in April, and I tried to put a little garden in. It's not by any means like the vision I have, you know, for the future. Like, this is, I'm kind of amazed though that I did get at least this done, because I thought I was going to be super busy. Like, the fantasy is I'm going to have this big beautiful garden, but the reality is, like, I'm probably not going to have anything at all. So I'm thankful to at least have this. Of course, we have eggs coming. We have apple trees. Over here I have a compost bin, and I do add water into it because compost needs, there's buggies and stuff, but it needs water, air, nitrogen, and carbon. And so I take a shovel often and mix it. I even have sweet potato plants growing inside. Here's my sweet potatoes. They are, hopefully that bag's full of them. Hopefully it's not just leaves. Here's my gold potatoes, and a friend gave me those. This was from the store. I just let a bag sit in a cupboard and grew some eyes. So I'm guessing they're going to be ready in maybe a month and a half or so, about 6 weeks. I know that the leaves are starting to turn, and they say once the potatoes leaves are brown and falling over, then they're pretty much ready to harvest. We have in here a seed. I just put this in here because I thought it was ruined, but it's taken off. I don't know if it's going to produce anything. I really don't know. I don't see anything coming on as of yet, but there is still hope. And we have some okra. You can see back there. More okra, lots of okra coming up. We've already picked a few. We're gonna do some pickled okra this year, and then we're going to probably deep fry some. Kenzie's really into okra. I do love pickled okra, so does David. Now this is the pumpkin plant. I am trying to grow a very large pumpkin. This variety grows up to 200-pound pumpkins. The ones that you can probably carve into and make a boat out of. We've actually been to those festivals before. But the idea is to take most of them off so that you're just focusing on one. And this is splitting. It's just so hot lately. It's like 110 here with the heat index. But we have like a lot of them coming up. So I will have to decide pretty quickly on which ones I want to prune off. But it is beautiful. It's ginormous and so lovely. So our sunflowers came up. A lot of little bees flying around. It's so pretty. It was kind of the idea for them to be at the front of the garden. This is the beginning of it. Hopefully we'll have dozens more in the future. Dozens. But there's a lot of little sunflowers coming up and getting ready to. So pretty. I put cardboard in the walkways and I need to get more. I have a lot more boxes to break down and do that, so then the weeds won't pop up. Over here I have a zucchini couple coming on. I didn't know if they would, but thankfully they are, it looks like. I have 3 coming, so that's good. And then over here, I think it's a yellow squash I planted, and I don't see anything coming up as of yet, but it is growing and the bees are pollinating, so hallelujah. Here's a tomato plant. This thing has just been like this. I mean, it was a little cotyledon for months, and then all of a sudden it's starting, but then it kind of stopped again for the last 3 weeks. I just honestly think it's because it's so hot. Like if I would have started it indoors and then brought it out, and because I actually kind of let those ones go and I had to dump them, it just wasn't doing good in the coco coir. But these, and I had a baby, so I kind of neglected them. So I started over in ground, and yeah, this has been out here since May or April, end of April, and this is, so 3 months. I would think that it would have gone a lot larger by now. Hopefully, since it's so slow, it will be very sturdy. I mean, it feels really sturdy. And then, let's see here. There's an ant on my phone. And then, I don't even remember what kind it is. Here's a cucumber, I believe. Here's another tomato plant that's finally kind of growing. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll just shoot up soon. And then here are some basil plants. Love basil. And over here we have, looks like some oregano in there that I planted a little bit. And I have heard from others that their garden started slow also, just because with seedlings straight in ground, it just puts a lot of stress on them than if you were to start them indoors. They're a lot more hardy and grown up. They can take a lot more. So anyways, there's some oregano over there. There's some oregano right there. There's some thyme, and there's some green beans. Not all of them took, or some bugs ate them, but there's some more green beans, and then over here more green beans. I'm not sure what this is, to be honest. And this, but it's something I planted. Ooh, that's some more thyme. I can smell it, but I don't know what that is. So we shall see. I believe this is a pepper plant coming up. There's some more green beans. I don't remember what I put in here, but it looks pretty evident that that is coleus. And here's some coleus also. And so I forgot I did that, but that's what it looks like to me. Here's a tomato plant, a cucumber that is definitely not producing any fruit, but I mean, I don't think it will either at this point. There's nothing. Well, am I speaking too soon? What's that? Nope. It's not producing any fruit. It's just vining up. But oh, there's a bee. There's something. Yeah, there's a bee. So beautiful, isn't it? And then here is my other tomato plant coming up. These should be my heirloom varieties, and I really want to get some tomatoes. All my neighbors have already. Here's a melon plant vining up on this. I help kind of like train it up a little bit so that it knows where to go very carefully. You don't want to break the end. There's another little melon coming on. There's one down here. A lot of them have just shriveled up and died because it's so hot, but Here's a melon. We have another one over here. Careful not to step on anything or bug the bees too much. So you can see how big it is with my hand there. Here's some type of flower. I really, something landed on me. Gotta be careful with this guy. See, it blends in. They're just trellising over. And that's some kind of flower, and it's beautiful, but there's cucumbers wrapping around it, trying to choke it out. So, yeah, we got more cucumber over there, more melon over on that side. We've got to pick some cucumber, actually, because there's a lot in here. Oh no, maybe it's gotten too big. I definitely want to eat them. I don't want them to go to waste. There's one. There's a couple more on that side. We'll probably make a cucumber salad or something today. Here's more cucumber. Plants over here. And these ones are really good pickling ones. If I can find it. I don't want to disturb Mr. B. It's okay. Here's some more basil right here. See, I just really love cucumber, tomato, and basil, and peppers in the summer, and melon. So that's why I grew it all, but unfortunately the tomatoes haven't come up yet. It would be so good to have like a cucumber, a fresh cucumber, basil, tomato salad. That's okay. At least we have some basil. This is all basil also. Going to seed, which I will harvest some for next year. And it's just really making the bees happy. They're so sweet. I just love it. Just don't want to bother them. We also like green beans. David's not like a huge fan, but when he has my fresh green beans, not out of the can, he does like it. So we grew a lot of green beans. There's green beans. There's green beans. Here's some more green beans. Here's some more. Here's some more. There's some more. There's some more. Yeah, so a lot of green beans. And then here's some type of flower. I think it's marigold coming up. It feels like such a late start for me though. For it being the end of July. And really not having much of a harvest, but I am thankful. And we have a healthy looking apple tree over there, despite the 110 heat index. There's our river birch farther out. We took a maple, and the maple, we transplanted it. Those are native. They just come up wherever over here. We just needed more shade on our property, so we transplanted it over here. We also transplanted 4 pines on the back part of our property. There's like a 1/4 acre that goes way over there, way out there in the back of 3 neighbors' houses on a leach field that we weren't aware of until we moved in here. That's okay. And then we have a river birch tree over here that's doing pretty good, and an apple tree over there. It looks a little stressed, that one. We did prune it back heavily earlier. So yeah, that's it. I'm very excited to be getting potatoes soon. I'll bring you out here with me for that to see how much of a harvest we get in a few weeks. And I'm gonna cut some basil today to bring it in and dry it and use it fresh. There's Mr. Rooster, and yes, we are letting weeds grow up all around this chicken coop because last year it was so hot. They were panting all the time, and with the heat we just want to be able to cast some kind of shade. And being we don't have trees, then that is why we let the weeds grow up around it. We planted a tree to the right of it, one to the front left right here, the apple, then another apple to the back left. So we're hoping that in the morning these trees can kind of cast shade, and in the evening, that will cast shade. And then just during the afternoon, they have the shade cloth my husband put over, and then all of these beautiful untamed weeds. They really are pretty, I think. And they had beautiful purple flowers. I just need to get the front part with the weed eater, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go weed eat a little bit around the garden and just right here. Hey, chickies! We have one that's really broody in the back there, and she wants to hatch her eggs, but we don't need that right now, so sorry. So that's my garden and chicken update. For now.